Hey, 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 hey. What's happening? So let's get it with Alerica Anderson. We got a lot to talk about. We got to talk about my Warriors. Got to talk about my Rams. Got to talk about the Mizzou Tigers, football and basketball. So you know how we do it. Let's get it. Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is when you're listening to this. This is Let's Get It with Aleric Anderson. So glad that you came back another week to hang out with us to do this thing that we love to do, talk about sports. And we are so glad to be back. Listen, if you're new to the show, thank you for listening. If you normally listen, thank you for coming back. We got a lot to talk about on today. I'm going to talk about my Golden State Warriors. I'm going to talk about my Los Angeles Rams. We're going to talk a little college football. Looks like we're going to be going into a very important weekend with college football this weekend. But yeah, man, just so glad to be back with you. If you want to listen to some of our older shows, please feel free to go to www.alericanderson.net, ALERICAANDERSON.net. There you will get our content from our past shows. You'll be able to keep up with what we're doing right now. As I said before, we're going to be broadening our footprint on social media soon, so be looking out for that. Make sure you follow us on all of the socials. Make sure you follow us on the socials, man. We're gonna be doing some great things going forward. Got some other shows that we're gonna be launching soon in this podcast network, Seven Music Podcast Network. So, look, just glad to be back with you. So we're gonna jump right in. Well, let's start. Let's start with the Los Angeles Rams. Start in the NFL. So, if you're new to the show, you may not know. If you've been following me for a while, you know I am a big Rams fan. I was a Rams fan when they were in Los Angeles first. Then they moved to St. Louis and then moved back to LA. I've been a Rams fan forever, man. I go back to the Pat Hayden, Lawrence McCutcheon, Wendell Tyler days, Flipper Anderson, Willie Flipper Anderson days. I go back to those days. The Eric Dickerson time, all of that. So I've been a Rams fan for. Did I say Lawrence McCutcheon? Yeah, him too. I've been a Rams fan for a long time. Then they came to St. Louis, became the greatest show on turf, which you know who those players are. Hall of Famer Kurt Warner, Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk, Hall of Famer Isaac Bruce, and Torrey Holt, future Hall of Famer, and Orlando Pace, Hall of Famer, Famers, dog, Famers. Dick Vermeil, all of those cats, man. And so that was a great, and even on the defensive side, which with Kevin Carter, DeMarco Farr, Keith Lyle, Mike Jones from the University of Missouri, just a lot of great players. And then fast forward to the Rams of today with Matthew Stafford, with that man Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey and Cooper Kupp. Yeah, so I've been a Rams fan for a long time, so I don't want to misrepresent or you think that I'm a front runner when it comes to the Rams. But man, they are having a rough time this season. Rough time this season. Right now, they're 3-7, sitting in fourth place in the NFC West, looking up at the Arizona Cardinals, looking up at the 49ers, looking up at the Seattle Seahawks, going into a week where they got to play the Kansas City Chiefs with they got a lot of injuries. Oh my God, it's just a horrible set of circumstances, and I like to break it down for the fans and break it down for the people who love the sport like I do, to not just talk about what everybody else is talking about, the talking heads, but to get down dirty into why the Rams are where they are. I know last week I talked about how they've missed on a couple of draft choices that you can't miss on. You can't miss with a running back and a wide receiver, with Cam Akers and Van Jefferson. You cannot miss when you draft skill players that high. And that is the issue. And then this season, they drafted a whole bunch of offensive linemen. They are depleted on the offensive line, and you saw that, and you've been seeing that all season, and so that's why the Rams are where they are right now. A lot of people say, this is that F them picks thing. They, like I said last week, it ain't F them picks, man. The picks got to work out, and cats got to ball. And the problem, other than the issue with players not panning out, other than injuries. You need your veterans, you need your quote unquote star players to step up. And you need to think about scheme. So when you look at the Rams right now, one of the issues they're having is on the defensive side of the ball. They're not stopping nobody. They're not stopping the run. They're not stopping the pass. They're not stopping anybody. And that's one of the reasons why they're 3-7. I mean, yeah, they were going to lose a game to the Bills. You're going to lose that Bills game. The 49ers just have their number other than in the playoffs. You lost to the Cowboys, and that was Cooper Rush as the quarterback. But that Buccaneers game you should have won. That was a defensive issue playing soft against Tom Brady. You should have won that game. You should have beat Colt McCoy and the Cardinals last 2 weeks ago, and you damn well should have beat the doggone Saints with Andy Dalton as the quarterback. So these last three losses are what's really glaring, and it is not about injuries so much with those last three. It's just a sense that this team is not really gelling. Now they're 10 games in the season. It's a daunting schedule looking at them right now. They got the Chiefs, the Seahawks, the Raiders, the Packers, the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Seahawks. So 2, 4, 6, 7 games left in this season. I'm going to go out on a limb. Unless something miraculous happens, they're going to lose to the Chiefs. They're going to beat the Seahawks. They're going to beat the Raiders. They're going to beat the Packers. They're going to beat the Broncos. They're going to beat the Chargers. And they're going to beat the Seahawks. All right? So that's 6 out of 7. 6 out of 7 puts them at 9 wins. They won't make the playoffs this year, but at least they'll have a winning season. I think they'll turn it around. Like I said, they're not going to win this week. If I was the Rams, Sean McVay, I would keep Matthew Stafford out this week. You're not going to beat the Chiefs. Get them some rest, and let's see if we can make a push and win those last 6 in a row. And turn this season around and find some solace in this season. Get some young cats. Get Kyron Williams. Let's see what the running back, the kid from St. Louis who went to the University of Notre Dame. Let's see if we can get him some reps. Let's see what Tutu Atwell. He caught a long touchdown pass. Let's see what's going on with Tutu. Let's see if we can get Van Jefferson going now that Cooper Kupp is out. Let's see if we can get some things going on. Let's see if we can do something about that defense. I don't like firing people, calling for people to be fired, and it's a man's job, but, they get paid a lot of money. I think Raheem Morris got to be up. I think you got to go a different route for these last 7 games. That defensive strategy doesn't work playing off those receivers. If you're going to get burned, let's go get burned. Let's go see what's up. Let's be aggressive. I think you're taking the aggressive nature away from Jalen Ramsey, and you can see that on the field. It's hard to defend and to get sacks when you're playing off of receivers. They got to jam those receivers, mess up some of the time, and they need to change their defensive philosophy. So I think they need to go ahead and relieve Raheem Morris of his duties. And let's see if we can get some things changed around. I'm a Rams fan. I ain't gonna stop being a Rams fan. We're world champions until we ain't. So anything can happen. But I'm not jumping off the bandwagon. It's a lot going on, but I think they'll be able to turn it around and salvage this season in a way. In the rest of the NFL, it looks like it's going to be topsy-turvy for the rest of the year. I'm looking at these divisions right now in the AFC East. You got the Dolphins and the Bills tied at the top of that division. In the North, AFC North, you have the Baltimore Ravens sitting 1 game up on the Cincinnati Bengals. In the AFC South, you got the Tennessee Titans with a 3-game lead over the Indianapolis Colts, who are trying to make a run with Jeff Saturday as their coach. I hope they keep him on. It looks like he's doing some good things. Matt Ryan just ain't the answer. I'm glad you went back to him, but Matt Ryan is Matt Ryan. You look at the AFC West, it's done. Kansas City Chiefs going to get their 9th win this week, going against the Rams. That'll put them at 9-2. They are gone. They are gone in that division. That division is is gone, and it's all Kansas City. The Chargers are 5-5. The Raiders are 3-7. The Broncos are 3-7. This is the division that people said was going to be the best division in football. They looked at this division at the beginning of the season, and the pundits said that the Kansas City Chiefs, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Denver Broncos had 4 of the top 15 quarterbacks in the league because they threw Carr in there. And what you got is Patrick Mahomes being Patrick Mahomes, the Chargers with Herbert with a nice arm and all that, but it is what it is. You have the Raiders being the Raiders. Josh McDaniels is doing a horrible job with that team. Why do you go get Devontae Adams if you're not going to use them? And the Denver Broncos getting obviously Russ was damaged when he went because he's playing horribly with the Denver Broncos. So that's the Kansas City Chiefs. Moving over to the NFC, in the NFC East, Philadelphia, man, they got away with one. Woo, they got away with one on Sunday, but they're sitting at 9-1. The Cowboys are coming. They destroyed the Vikings this last week, which shows you that the Vikings, people have been talking about the Vikings run up their record against really bad teams or not very good teams, beating the second string quarterbacks and that kind of thing. They were exposed on Sunday. You got the Eagles at 9-1. You got the Cowboys and the Giants sitting there at 7-3, and you got the Washington Commanders with the fighting Taylor Heineke's going at 6-5. So it turns out that the NFC East is a pretty solid conference. I still got the Philadelphia Eagles winning that conference. The Cowboys will be right there. They will be a wild card team. The Giants have overachieved, but to be 7-3 right now in this climate with all the crazy stuff going on with Daniel Jones as your quarterback, it's saying a lot. It's trading away your top receiver in Tony to the Kansas City Chiefs is saying a lot, but they're sitting right there at 7-3. And as I said, the Commanders are at 6-5 with all the crazy turmoil that's going on with the Commanders. They are still a winning team. In the NFC North, you got Minnesota running away with that division. That division is done. Detroit Lions are acquitting themselves really well, looking like a team that's on the up and coming. They're sitting at 4-6. The Packers are 4-7. They are a train wreck, and the Chicago Bears are looking like Fields may be out for the rest of the season. He's got a shoulder, and they may not make the same mistakes that the Browns made last year with Baker Mayfield. They may hold him out, and that may be it for the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields for this season. In the NFC South, you still have Tampa Bay sitting atop at 5-5, the Falcons at 5-6, the New Orleans Saints at 4-7, and the Panthers at 3-8. Another train wreck. Steve Wilkes is the interim coach there. He will probably not be the coach next season. They'll be looking for a new coach. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will win that division because they got Tom Brady as the starting quarterback. There's nothing left to say as it relates to the NFC South. Tampa Bay will win that division. And in the NFC West, as much as I hate to say it, the San Francisco 49ers look unbeatable until they get beat. They are sitting in the top of the NFC West at 6-4. And the Seattle Seahawks are right behind them at 6-4. And in the division, the 49ers are running away with it. They're 4-0 in the division, 5-2 in the conference. They've won 3 in a row. The Rams have lost 4 in a row. They're sitting at 3-7 at the bottom of the division, not playing well. Arizona Cardinals are just treading water until Kyler Murray comes back. So that's what it looks like. So it's going to be a crazy break going down, a break for the finish line going down in these last 7 games of the season. Interesting game last night in Mexico, up until it wasn't, up until the 49ers just dominated. And I was sitting watching the game, and I was like, this could not be the same Arizona Cardinal team that played the Rams a week before. That team laid down. I turned the game off. After Kittle scored his second touchdown and nobody tried to tackle him, I turned the game off. I turned the game off. I was like, they don't want to play. They don't want to play. So that's what's going on in the NFL. Odell Beckham Jr. will probably sign this week. It's going to be a couple of interesting teams you should look at him signing with. Uh, the usual suspects. The Cowboys are sitting there that could use him. The Cowboys absolutely can use him. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you give Tom Brady OBJ, that can be a problem. Lord help us if somehow he signs with the 49ers. If he signs with the 49ers will win the Super Bowl. Period. Point blank. Wrap. Same thing if he goes to a team like Kansas. Any of those teams like that, Lord help us. Lord help us if he goes down in welcome to Miami. Man, if you put Waddle, Hill, and OBJ, they could be a problem too. So he should be signing sometime this week. So we got to keep an eye on that. But the NFL, it's getting to that point. A lot of games, Thanksgiving games coming up. A lot of games this weekend that will make a difference. And so we'll see. It's going to clear up real soon. We're going to really see, especially if OBJ signs with one of those teams that I just mentioned. All right, man. Moving on to the NBA is fantastic. My Warriors, last night they lost 128-83 to the Pelicans. Now, there's a caveat to that. No Steph, no Clay, no Draymond, no Wiggins. And so everybody played for the Pelicans. So with that said, what we're looking at with the Golden State Warriors is that the issue is the bench. They're 8-10 right now in the Western Conference. If you look at the Western Conference, they're only about 4 games out of the top spot. And they got their first road win the other night against the Houston Rockets. The issue with the Golden State Warriors right now is their bench. Their bench is not playing well. You got a couple of veterans. DiVincenzo is doing what he's supposed to do. JaMychal Green, I think JaMychal Green is going to be gone as soon as Wiseman comes back from the G League. I am very disappointed with him. Just little stuff. It's like he's not connected. He's missing layups. He's missing dunks. He's playing no defense. He's not giving you the 3-and-D that you hoped you would get from him. So it's just a waste of space. You're getting some good things out of Lamb, who's come off the bench and showed that he's doing some good things. But you cannot waste what you're getting right now from the great Wardell Stephen Curry. You cannot waste what you're getting from that man. Let's just look at his numbers real quick, shall we? Steph right now, you all know, I say it all the time, Steph is averaging 32 points a game, 7 assists. He is also averaging, let's make sure I get his rebounds right, 6.7 rebounds. So that means he's averaging 7 rebounds. 32, 7, and 7. He's shooting 52% from the field, 44% from 3. Now let's just compare this year's stats to his career stats. He is scoring more. His field goal percentage is through the roof. His career field goal percentage is 47%. Right now he's shooting 52%. His career three-point percentage is 42%. Right now, he's shooting 44%. His free throw percentage, he's the greatest free throw shooter in the NBA history, so it's right there. But rebounds, he's averaging 2 more rebounds a game, almost 2 more assists, 1 assist more a game. He is down in his turnovers. And his career points, he's at 32 points per game. He is playing, at his age, he is playing phenomenal basketball, and they cannot waste this season. Draymond is playing arguably, he's playing his best basketball. Let's look at Draymond's stats. Right now, Draymond is averaging 7 points a game. he's averaging 6 rebounds, and he's averaging 8 assists. Now, I know everybody go, triple single, triple single, triple single. I hear what you're saying. But he is also exceeding his numbers. His field goal percentage is up by 3 points. His rebounds are even. His assist numbers are up by 2. His assist numbers are up by 2. He is shooting 55% from the field. You look at Wiggins. Let's look at Wiggins. I want you to understand what the Golden State Warriors have right now as the starters. Wiggins right now. Wiggins is averaging 18 points a game. He's averaging 18 points a game doing what he is supposed to be. He's supposed to be the third option. You got Clay now who is coming around, and I told you last week that it was going to take Clay a minute to reactivate, so to speak, and get back to Clay-like action. And you saw some Clay the other night. That was the Clay you wanted to see. So now you look at the Golden State Warriors and you go, okay, what are we looking at? We're looking at a team that is not getting what they need to get from their bench. For instance, let's look at Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole got the big contract coming off of last year, and this was supposed to be the year that he ascended. He's supposed to ascend this year. So he's averaging 16 points, 4 assists. But the numbers are not really what you want to look at because he is at home. Let's see what he's averaging at home. He's averaging 15 points a game at home. He's averaging 15 points a game on the road. So he's right there. But you don't expect that when you paid him to be that dude to come off that bench. He is supposed to not have games like he had the other night against Phoenix where he had 2 points. He's not supposed to have games where, let's look at his last 10 games. Jordan Poole, 9, 11. He has 2 games where he's had 3 games where he has played more than 20 minutes in that game and had less than 10 points. 2 of those games, he played 27 minutes against Phoenix and 22 minutes against Sacramento, and he had 2 points. You cannot have that from a cat that you're paying the money that you're supposed to be paying, and he is supposed to be your 6th man. He is supposed to come off that bench and give you that business, and he is not. His shooting percentage is down. His field goal percentage is down. His 3-point percentage is down. He's not really getting to the free throw line. The most free throws he shot are 7. He should be getting to the free throw line quite often, but he's settling on that jump shot because now he's not trying to get a contract. See, last year he was playing for a contract, so you saw him going to the basket, getting to the line, doing a whole bunch of stuff. Now he's getting paid, and he's not trying to get back to he's not trying at all to get to the free throw line like he was supposed to, like he was doing last year. So now you have that issue where he's just looks like he's trying to settle in and not doing a good job at that. So those are the issues. And then I don't even have to go to the rest of the bench that is not giving you anything. Now, people will say, well, you gave away your stars from your bench. You gave away, let Gary Payton II go. You let Otto Porter Jr. go. You let all of these people go and you're not getting anything from Andre Iguodala, who you re-signed. And so you're not really getting anything from that bench. And the people that you had, the players that you had on the bench that was supposed to give you that push are not there. I get that. But I like the young players. I like what's going on with Kuminga. I like Kuminga. I love Moody. I like the fact that they send Wiseman down to get him a little more seasoned and down in the G League. I like Lamb coming off the bench. I like DiVincenzo coming off the bench. I like the fact that Patrick Baldwin Jr. got a little run. I like that these cats are getting this run. I think they will be all right going into the second half of the season once everybody settles in. I do believe that they need to make a move, and I think that move will come sooner rather than later. I don't think they're going to wait. Get one more good game from Clay. If Clay is showing coming out of this week that he's back to scoring about 20, 22 points a game and he's rolling, I think they're going to make that move sooner rather than later. Remember, they got those first round picks that's sitting there. They can make a move. I think they need a wing. I think that's where they're missing. I think they need they need one of them wings, man, that come off the bench and can do a little bit of everything. So I'm looking forward to them making. I believe in Bob Myers and the front office of the Golden State Warriors. I believe that they can. They will do what they need to do when it's time to do it. If so, like I said, the Golden State Warriors right now are sitting at 8-10, but they're only 3.5 games out of the number one spot of the Western Conference. So there's a lot of basketball. They've only played 18 games, and they play 82 last time I checked. 82 games. They don't play 18 games. They don't play 25 games. They don't play 30 games. They don't play 50 games. They don't play 75 games. They play 82 in the league. So I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do and go forward. Looking at the conferences right now. In the Eastern Conference, you got the Boston Celtics sitting at number 1. You got the Milwaukee Bucks right there at number 2. The Cleveland Cavaliers at 3 in the East. Indiana Pacers at 4, doing it with smoke and mirrors. You got the Washington Wizards and the Hawks right there. That's 1 through 6. And then 7, 8, 9, and 10, you got the Raptors. You have the Knicks. You got the 76ers and the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn looks like they've turned the corner. Kyrie is supposed to be coming back. He came back. I'm not even going to waste any time talking about the Brooklyn Nets until they start winning, until they look like they're going to be a team that's going to make a real push. Philadelphia 76ers dealing with a lot of injuries. James Harden is out. Maxi's out. Embiid is going to miss the next couple of games. So that's going to be a problem. That 76ers team, I'm not quite sure how that's going to end up at the end of the season. It looks like it might get ugly before it gets better. But the Knicks are the Knicks. They're going to have to make a move. They can go ahead and send one of them. They can send R.J. Barrett on to the Warriors, or you can send us one of those players. We got somebody for you. You can send us one of them wings. You don't want Fournier? Send Fournier on. We can bring Fournier off the bench. He can come play for the Warriors. Yeah, give me Fournier coming off the bench, coming out shooting. I would love that. So that's 1 through 10. Celtics, Bucks, Cavs, Pacers, Wizards, Hawks, Raptors, Knicks, 76ers, and the Brooklyn Nets. You got the Miami Heat on the outside looking in. Man, that's not looking like that's going to, ooh. They done lost 4 in a row. Man. Looks like they're not fitting well together. That's all I'm saying. Looks like the Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero. Looks like that whole thing ain't working out, and so there could be some upheaval in the Miami Heat's organization, but I trust Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. They'll make some changes. They'll make some things do what they got to do. Going over to the Western Conference, man, it is crazy over in the Western Conference. The number 1 seed in the Western Conference is the team that was supposed to be tanking for Victor Wembanyama. I think I might have, and my son is going to clown me because I know Wembanyama. Victor W, like I said. They were supposed to be tanking for Victor W, and the Utah Jazz are sitting there at 12-7 because they have some vets who refuse to lose, man. You got vets you got Mike Conley, who was one time the highest paid player in the NBA. Look it up. When he was down there in Memphis, look it up. You got Jordan Clarkson, MIZ, who they refuse to lose, man. They come into play. Dog, they refuse to lose. They sitting at 12. Laurie Marketing, dog. He's nice. He's nice. He's nice. So they looking at 12-7. Darius Garland is yeah. No, not a Darius Garland. Garland's at Garland's with Cleveland, the other cat that they traded over there from Cleveland. But they sitting at number one, man. They sitting at number one. First coach, Will Hardy, first year coach. Just playing basketball, just doing what basketball players do, just doing what coaches do, coaching some basketball, coaching some players. They going out there playing hard. You got the Suns sitting right there. We already know what the Suns going to do. Suns going to have a good record. Then they going to get in the playoffs and they going to choke. And it is what it is. It's not that they're a bad team. It's just like the Phoenix Suns or the new Utah Jazz. And if you know, you know. The Phoenix Suns or the new Utah Jazz look good, play well, great top 4 spot in the West going into playoffs, look like they're a great team, and then they get in the playoffs and don't do nothing. The Denver Nuggets are still constantly dealing with players being in and out of the lineup. They're going to have to shake that lineup, but they got pieces that don't nobody want. They're not trading Jokic. They're not trading Michael Porter Jr., MIZ. They're not trading Jamal Murray. Aaron Gordon. They don't fit Michael Malone. That group, even though they're 10-6, they should be killing teams, and I just don't like the fit. The Clippers are what the Clippers are. Paul George now is out with hamstring issues. Kawhi has a degenerative condition with his legs it's not going to get better. John Wall was supposed to come off the bench and be that dude off the bench. They sitting at 11-7, but I think the Clippers are going backwards. Shout out to Mike Brown and the Fighting Sacramento Kings. He got those boys playing. He's got Aaron Fox out there hooping. Harrison Barnes is doing Harrison Barnes things, just being old reliable. They look really nice, man. They got a nice group of players, and they sitting at 9-6, man. They looking good, and I see the Sacramento's breaking that streak. Like I said last week, I think they're gonna be in there. The Pelicans, man, look here. On paper, with Brandon Ingram, with McCullough, with Zion, with Marshall. Not, I was about to say Jonas Valanciunas. Why was I about to say Marshall Let's go back to the old Golden State Warriors teams. Nah, that team, man, they look nice. They look nice. But I just don't know how that team is going to roll when crunch time. I just got to see him. Willie Green is doing a good job down there as a head coach, and they're going to be in the mix. The Memphis Grizzlies, here we go. The Memphis Grizzlies are 10-7, and this is what happens, and this is what I've been saying is going to happen. Desmond Bane is out for at least 3 to 4 weeks. Ja Morant is out for at least 2 or 3 weeks. Both of them have those foot, ankle, knee, down there, that lower extremity issues. They got to do something about that roster, and they got to get them more help. They got to get more help for Morant. He's got to get some more help. That bench got to. They got to give me something. Maybe bring Dylan Brooks off the bench once everybody's healthy. They just need more of a punch off that bench. And I'm concerned about the Memphis Grizzlies. I would love to see them play well, but I'm concerned that they're going to hit the skid with both of those, with their 2 leading scorers out for a significant period of time. The Portland Trail Blazers, shout out to Dame time. They 10-7. Chauncey Billups doing a great job as the head coach. The Dallas Mavericks are a 500 team. Jason Kidd is a great coach, but they're a 500 team because they still have not gotten anything to go with Luka. They still have not found a way to get players down there that can complement Luka's skill set, and they can have a 1-2 punch. The Minnesota Timberwolves right now is sitting at 9-8. They have a winning record. They have a better record than the Golden State Warriors. I get that. So those haters that come out, they better than the Warriors. They have a better record than the Warriors right now. But that is a team in turmoil. That group does not work together. You got Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, and Rudy Gobert, which you would think that you would say, "Oh my God," but that team is not working well together. That mix is not working together. They've won 4 in a row, but that thing is going to jump the tracks real soon. I hope it doesn't. I would love to see that team on the ascend. I would love to see that team be in the thick of it. I think those will be some great series when you have those kind of teams playing when we get in the playoffs. So I want to see those cats excel. I want to see them win because I would love to see that team in the playoffs. I would love to see some postseason basketball with the Minnesota Timberwolves being a player in that. We already talked about the Golden State Warriors. The Oklahoma City Thunders are in classic and constant rebuild mode. I don't know when they'll be a contender ever again. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is down there balling, but like I said, I don't know when they will ever be a contender again. You have the San Antonio Spurs. They're the Popovich kids, kid Popoviches, the team Popoviches with a bunch of kids, and we don't know. They can go on a run, but they've lost 5 in a row, and I don't think they're going to get any better. So they may be headed towards Victor W. And the last time they got one of them cats, that was Timmy Duncan, and we know what happened after that. The Los Angeles Lakers, they at 5-10. Anthony Davis is playing like a monster, but that's with LeBron out. So what does that mean? Does that mean that LeBron and Anthony Davis can't play together? I don't know what that means. But I do know that Anthony Davis has been balling since LeBron has been out. So you come to your own conclusion. They've won 3 in a row, and really Anthony Davis is out there looking like an MVP. He looking like he looking like New Orleans Anthony Davis right now. But he can get hurt sneezing in a minute. So you never know what's going to happen. Houston Rockets, a lot of great young talent. You got Steven Silas down there as the head coach. A lot of great young talent down there. But they're just a collection of ball players right now, so I don't see them doing anything. So, as I said in the Western Conference, you got the Jazz, Suns, Nuggets, Clippers, Kings, Pelicans, Grizzlies, Blazers, Mavericks, and Timberwolves, and my Golden State Warriors are a game and a half out of the play-in game if the season ended right now, but it won't because I told you it's 82 games in the season. So that's the NBA. It is fantastic, as they say all the time. Now, as we wrap up the show, man, I want to finish talking about that college football. First of all, y'all may not know this, man, but I love my PlayStation, dog. I've been playing PlayStation for a long, long time. A long time. I love it, man. And I remember back when college football, man, we used to, EA Sports College. Oh my God. Well, it was announced today that EA Sports is coming back with a college football game in 2024. Man, I'm going to be on the list to get it. Just want to let you know. College football is coming back. College football is coming back on that EA Sports. It's going to be crazy. And I was just completely distracted by that this morning. But yeah, man. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, as they say. So I can't wait for that. Let's look at the college football rankings real quick because, man, it's getting there. We getting there. Most definitely getting there. As we look at the AP top 25, we're just going to talk about the top 4. Because right now, you got Georgia sitting there at 11-0, Ohio State sitting there at 11-0, Michigan sitting there at 11-0, and TCU sitting there at 11-0. It's going to be a shakeup, baby, because you know why? Because Ohio State and Michigan play each other this weekend. So one of them teams ain't going to be there at the end of this weekend. TCU got away with one. TCU is sitting there, but you know who's sitting right on the outside looking in after just a slugfest out there in California this weekend? USC is sitting there at 10-1 with a big game this weekend against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. So some stuff can happen, man. A whole lot can happen. It looked like Georgia's gonna be all right. They gonna play LSU in the SEC championship game. So it ain't really, Georgia's gonna be fine. Even if LSU beats Georgia, LSU will not jump over Georgia. Georgia, I still would think, especially in a close game, that Georgia will still be in the Final Four. I see TCU in the Final Four because I don't think anybody's going to beat them in the Big 12. So they're going to be sitting there in the Final Four. Let's look and see who TCU's got to play for the rest of the season before I overspeak. Let's see what they got left. Iowa State, which they should win that game. And then they got the Big 12 championship. So yeah, TCU is gonna be fine. And so that's the big deal. When you look at the Ohio State Michigan winner, Ohio State Michigan, after they play that game, they will have to play in the one of them will have to play in the Big Ten championship game. And so I'm not really, and I think that Big Ten championship game will be sometime in the early part of December. So, that team, whoever wins that game on Saturday, will still have an opportunity to not make the Final Four. Alabama's out. They got 2 losses. Clemson is sitting on the outside looking in with 1 loss. So Clemson can make that climb. They play South Carolina this week. That they need to watch it. Spencer Rattler down there. Anything can happen if Clemson lose that game. Clemson is out no matter what happens in the ACC championship game. And so yeah. So that is that top 4. I'm interested to see what happens this weekend and how that plays out with the final standings for the college football playoff. But right now, as we sitting there, if you're looking at it, know that Ohio State and Michigan, one of those teams won't be in the Final Four. Michigan has the weakest record, so if Michigan loses, I'm sorry, Fighting Harbaughs, you're not going to make it to the college football playoff. So, yeah, to me, I think it's going to be Georgia, Ohio State, TCU, and USC. That's what I believe. I think it's going to be Georgia, Ohio State, TCU, and USC, which they will, oh my God, that will be, other than having Alabama in there or Notre Dame in there, having Ohio State and USC, that's going to get a lot of eyeballs on it. And part of it is, man, they want them eyeballs. They want those eyeballs. It's a part of, it's a part of what this college football playoff was put together so people can watch the games. So don't get upset like, oh, this is not fair. It shouldn't be that way. No, that's why they play. That's why they do the college football playoffs. I'm going to look at the FCS real quick because that's the smaller schools. And I just want you to know that Jackson State is sitting down there. Jackson State, I think, is going to win a national championship in the FCS. I think they're going to win that national championship. I think Deion is going to go ahead and get them that. And I think Deion, just as a side, I think the next step, Deion is going to take a Power 5 job. I think the job that's at the top of the list is the Auburn job. I think he would love to coach and play every year in the SEC. I think he would love that challenge. And so I think that he is not long for Jackson State. And college football is better because of that. College football will be better because he's elevated the HBCUs. And I think his next step, because he looks like he gonna settle into this coaching thing real well. And I think he's gonna go down to Auburn. He's gonna make it happen down there with Auburn, get them back into real contention to win the SEC, get some eyeballs on that program, some regular eyeballs, not just some eyeballs when they're playing Alabama, and I think it's going to be great. Hey, listen, while I'm talking about college football, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about my Mizzou Tigers, Mizou, every true son, so happy-hearted. Skies above us are blue. There's a spirit so deep within us, oh Missouri. Here's to you. And when the band plays the Tiger War song, and when the fray is through, what's a fray? We will tramp, tramp, tramp around the columns with a cheer for old Mizzou. Hit it, hooray, Mizzou, Mizzou, hooray, hurrah, Mizzou, Mizzou, hooray, hurrah. A bully for old Mizzou, rah, 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 Missouri, Missouri, Missouri. Tigers fight for old Mizzou. Right behind you, everyone is with you. Break the line and follow down the field, and you'll be on the top, above the top. Fight, Tigers, you will always win. Proudly keep our colors flying skyward. In the end, you'll win the victory. So, Tigers, fight for old Mizzou. Yeah, it's in me, baby. Shout out to the University of Missouri. This has been a weird season. They're 5-6 right now. They've lost some games they shouldn't have lost, man. They lost some games they shouldn't have lost. They lost that Auburn game that they had won. They were right there with Georgia. They were right there with Florida. They right there with Kentucky. I mean, so you right there. They got a big game this week against Arkansas. They win this game against Arkansas at Arkansas. They will be bowl eligible. They will be there. They gave Drinkwitz the extension, and I believe in that. I believe in Drinkwitz. I think he is the man at Mizzou. He's going to be there for a minute. He is perfect. Now, what does Mizzou need? Now, I told y'all last week, I think they need running back. I think they need some work back in the defensive backfield. I want to amend that. I think they got some nice cats in the defensive backfield, but that running back position, I saw some young cats. They had some young cats out there running. I'm not really quite sure who them dudes' names were because they don't play a lot. But let me tell you something, man. That kid, Brady Cook, that quarterback, is no joke. He's no joke. I think he is the answer. He is the answer. He is the answer, man. And I want everybody to hear me say it right now. I'm going to let you know. Next year, when you see him throwing to Luther Burden, once they get Luther Burden a year of just seasoning and becoming that refined receiver, right now he's just nice. But he's doing his stuff just on, just sheer, I'm faster, I'm stronger than everybody. But once he refines that position, become that for real pass catching, route running, killer wide receiver, man, next year, barring any injury, that's going to be crazy. Love it. The kid on the other side is just as cold. Look, they have the makings of a great offense. If you are a Tiger fan, give them a minute. Just give them a minute, man. With those two cats, and Brady Cook throwing and running, give them a minute. The defense is now looking like a defense. The defensive line is gone back to being the dominant defensive line that we normally have. We put pros in the league, baby. We that defensive line, man, from Richardson to just go down the list, man. Michael Sam was SEC Defensive Player of the Year. You got to get. You look at the linebackers, man. You got Nick Bolton, who was at Mizzou, who's starting for the Kansas City Chiefs. That line, man, player after player after player after player after player on that defensive line that they put in the league, and it looks like now they're getting back to that place where they got some dogs on their defensive line, man. So I'm happy with that. And I think this team is going to turn the corner. Got to get one of them a couple of them game breaking running backs, some cats that can come out here and just get the ball and just break it, bow and go. But I'm looking forward to watching them this weekend against Arkansas. I think they're going to pull the win out. I think they're going to be bowl eligible, and I think that's going to be great because, you know, when they win the bowls, when you go to a bowl game, you get an extended period of practice. You can make your team. You can actually start preparing for next year's team. So I think they're going to be nice. And even at quarterback, man, they got another kid that they brought out there, man, Sam Horn, who's a freshman, who's behind Brady Cook, who's nice, man. And if he just sit in the cut and wait, they're going to be nice for several years. They're going to be nice for several years. So shout out to the Missouri Tigers. 5-6 is not what I wanted, but, man, I see them changing some things. I see a culture because Odom, he was not ready for the big time, man. Odom was not ready for that. He was not ready for taking over that program from Gary Pinkel, and it showed. But now they look really good, and I'm excited about the future of Missouri football. So, man, what a show. I talked about a lot. We went down a lot of rabbit holes, man, and talked about a lot of great sports, man. Look forward to this weekend. If you're a sports fan, you're getting it all. You're getting college football. You're getting great rivalry games this weekend. You got the Alabama-Auburn game. You got Missouri-Arkansas. They're trying to make a rivalry. You got USC-Notre Dame this weekend. You got Ohio State-Michigan this weekend. You got great basketball going on. College basketball is turning the corner. I ain't even talk about my undefeated Missouri Tiger basketball team, who should be 9-0 when they play Kansas in a few weeks. Man, so they making a shout out to the new coach at the University of Missouri. They're making a turnaround there. We're going to be talking about the Missouri Tiger basketball team a lot in the future. But right now, they just, these are the games they're supposed to win, so I ain't going to spend a lot of time talking about it. But the fact that they're 4-0 right now and not floundering and looking crazy and not scoring and learning how to barbecue but not learning how to play basketball, the fact that it's a little different now, that they're actually playing basketball and the coach is coaching basketball, I ain't going to say no more about that. I'm not saying no more about that. I just think that Missouri basketball took a bad turn over the past couple of coaches that weren't about Missouri basketball. It looks like they're headed towards that way. And I've been watching Missouri basketball for a long time, up close and personal. So I got a little institutional knowledge when it comes to talking about what Missouri basketball looks like. And they ain't played no Missouri basketball in a long time. So I'm glad it looks like they're coming back this way, and I'm looking forward to talking about them as we get deeper into the games, and looking forward to them being undefeated when they go play Kansas and Bill Self in a few weeks. So, hey, thank you for listening. You've been listening. You know what it is. Let's Get It with Alerica Anderson. So glad you listened. If you have any comments about the show, if you want to give us some show ideas, I am all ears. Hit us up at 7musicandsports@gmail.com. SEVN Music and Sports, SPORTSAND and sports @gmail.com. If you want to listen to past shows, want to catch up with what we're doing, go to www.alericanderson.net, ALERICAANDERSON.net, and listen to past shows and catch up with how we get down and what we've been doing. So glad you listened to us on the day. We look forward to hollering at you next week. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Make sure you eat and enjoy family. Enjoy your friends. Enjoy this weekend of great sports. And we'll see you again next week. God bless.